First again, Peter, thank you so much for coming, and give us this incredible, strong class about time management, because I think we all need this. And also, thank you to the people who came in that we invite another, also realtors from another offices, just to give them, some nuggets and some value to their career. So just the floor is for you. Thank you so much.
Awesome, Sonia. Thanks so much on your birthday too. Happy birthday
Yes,
to you.
thank you so much.
Well, I'm honored to be here, guys. Excited to see y'all joining in. I'll try to make it interactive as I can. I know as a fun intro, you might have gotten some background via email, but this is me, Peter. I got started in my sales career early. I was 17 as a high school student, and I started working door to door selling books. So I knocked on over 24,000 doors over 8 years, and did sales for about a decade, and then felt like I wanted to help contribute and give back, and started looking into how to be a coach, and had a lot of success early. Was number one rookie at my company. By my second year, I was number 10 in the company, or in the top 10 of the company. And Christopher was asking earlier, fun fact about me, I actually was born and raised in the Philippines. So there's me as a little kid on the islands. And this is one of my most Filipino photos I could show of what my childhood was like. That's a Carabao, me and my brother and my mom. But it was fun. My parents were out in the Philippines before I was born, and they started a school out there, and they lived a lifestyle of contribution and giving back. And I think that's a lot of, if you get to know me and hear my personality, that's a lot of my formative years. Obviously, I think all of us want to fit in as kids, but being blonde in the Philippines, I struggle with that. And there was that question of like, why am I here? And why are my parents out here? And why did I have to grow up in some place where I don't feel at home? And that really helped me learn early on the value of why my parents wanted to leave their lives here and go help people overseas and give to others. But today, what I'd love to talk about, as Sonia mentioned, a bit about time management. And I like a holistic approach. I work for a coaching company. I do a lot of one-on-one coaching. So a lot of my calls yesterday were just one-on-one with clients all over the country. My team's worked with over 22,000 people now. And I love doing these workshops. And you'll find today, I'll kind of take a holistic approach around time management, cover a different facets, because time management is a lot more than just a logical thing where, oh, I'm going to make a schedule and I'm going to print it out and I'm going to follow this thing perfect. Some of us tried that and it doesn't quite work that well. I know, Dominic, thanks for being honest, driving to the office this morning. But I know a lot of us hit hurdles, and today I want to cover what can we control. So my goal of today is give you some immediate results. And I want to have some fun. I want to make it interactive. I want more than just me talking to you. So if you want to participate, I know some of you might be driving and you can't participate. I'd love to have you guys get involved. I'll be asking questions throughout the training. So to kick us off, if you could just text me your name and send me your favorite GIF or emoji. If you have a realtor or someone in the title company, you're trying to close a loan and get things done and you haven't heard from them, maybe it's the silly emoji that you try to get their attention, or a GIF or GIF, depending on how you pronounce it. But I'd love to get some interaction for you guys and have some fun as we kick it off. For those that have your phone on you, you can go ahead and text me 619-866-8085. Send me something funny. Would love to share it with the group. And then throughout the training today, we'll be using texting to kind of engage and participate. I'll love to ask some questions about where you currently are in your time management so we can have it more customized to you, something that you can find value in. So I know not all of us are in a place where we can focus and text. So would love if a few of you can participate and shoot some things over and share some fun GIFs or emojis with the group. And then throughout the training, I'll be having you guys text some things in and shoot some things over. So go ahead and send something over real quick, and I'll love to share it with the group. I can pull it up on video, so it'll be fun, and we can kind of laugh at what each other are sharing. So would love to see from a few of you guys if you want to text something over. Thanks, Anna, Sonia. her birthday. I love that. You have the um the nice birthday cake and flyers gift. There we go. Look at that, the fun birthday emojis. Thanks, Sonia. Any others that want to participate and join? Anna, thanks for texting in. If you want to shoot over a little GIF or emoji, Christopher, if you can grab your phone out, or Dominic, if you're done driving, would love to have some fun ones to share. I like this one. Nice, Anna. All the hands. I haven't actually seen this heart hands before. That's awesome. Shani am I saying your name right, Shani? This is great.
Shiny.
Shiny. Awesome. This is one of my favorites. Thanks for sharing that. I love for you guys continue to text some of the stuff in, because the reality is in our jobs, it's important to have fun, isn't it? In the real estate world, a lot of times we can get excited, we can have big deals working, and then all of a sudden last minute, things fall apart. Someone makes a mistake somewhere, something out of your control falls apart, and you're feeling beat up, you're feeling like you failed and that you let people down. So as I kick off, I want to talk about what are the things we can control. And I want you guys to reflect on your goals, your vision, and think about, do I want to be a top producer? Do I want to be average? Do I want to take it to the next level this next year? So think about a goal for yourself. Feel free to text it in. If you've got my number there on your phone, I'd love to hear some of your goals. But whether you're engaging and participating or not, think about a goal that you have. Maybe it's something personal, paying off debt. Maybe it's buying a second home. Maybe it's taking your family on a vacation. Maybe it's reaching a higher level in your organization. But think about a goal that you have. Write it in your notes. Share it via text if you'd like. I'd love to hear from some of you guys. Maria, this is awesome. I got a late emoji from Maria. These are great. But think about a goal. And if you're having trouble reaching that goal, or maybe it's the same goal that you shared last year, and you want to figure out, what can I do about it? Because the market is out of our control. Rates are out of our control. Other people's decisions are out of our control. So what I want to share with you guys today are 3 things that are completely in your control. And especially around your time management, it's probably one of these 3 things that's holding you back. So first off, in anyone's success, we have to work on our skills. So this is easy to look at sports. You know, if you look at the Kobe Bryants, the LeBron Jameses of the world, they show up early, they stay late, they drill, they work on their skills to develop their skill sets to be more effective as basketball players. Now, for us, whether we're realtors or loan officers, think about the skills that you use. Maybe you've had to lead someone to make a decision. Maybe you've had to overcome an objection. Maybe you've had to make a good first impression in person or over the phone. Get someone to trust you. If you're making a relationship with a real estate agent, asking them to trust you to do their loans, right? That's a skill. And wherever you're at, however you feel about your personal skill sets, those are learnable and teachable. So you can develop those and grow those over time. So for some of us today, that might be our takeaway. We've got to work on some of our skills. Others, you've probably met people that are extremely skilled, but they're just not motivated. They don't have the right attitude. And motivation is super important in the sales industry, right? Some of us, there's the highs and lows. If this was easy, everyone would be doing it. But a lot of times people fail. There's a high percentage of failure both in real estate and in mortgage. And for some of us, we think we're born with motivation. Man, that person over there, they're just motivated. Or we see a top producer and it just seems like they're always persistent. But as a coaching company, we believe that there's a science to sustained motivation. You have to have long-term vision, short-term goals. You need an attitude of gratitude, purpose bigger than your paycheck. You've got to guard your self-talk. These are all controllable things. And you got to ask yourself, am I consistently motivated? Or am I riding a roller coaster of big months and low months? And am I feeling like I want to do this? Or have I lost, or am I stuck in a rut? For you, that might be a motivation takeaway from today. And last piece is systems. Obviously, the most directly correlated to our time management. If we're looking at systems, just take a simple analogy like the restaurant McDonald's. Restaurants weren't new, but if you watch the movie Founder, on the start of their success, they built a system in their restaurant, in their kitchen, that's like inch by inch of where exactly everything was and how the team worked together so that they could make what was new at the time of fast food. And it revolutionized the way that we had restaurants in America. So if you think about your business, and if you're wanting to scale this year and grow, and like some of you guys said, want to grow our branch, thanks, Anna, be better with your time, we've got to develop systems for that. It's not, is there enough time in my life? But do I have a system to incorporate that? And systems could be, your CRM. It could be delegating to an assistant. It could be templates or basically email signatures, things like that. Those are all systems we can use to be more efficient. But really, I could give you some really good skills today or give you a really cool calendar to start being more efficient with your time. But if you're not doing these things consistently, there's not much that's going to change in the next 2 weeks. So the biggest takeaway, if anyone participating today, this word right in the middle, habits. If there's anything I can impact you with today, is just ask yourself, what are my habits on these items? Because as a coach, that's what I do full time. People hire me to help them reach their goals. And that's the primary objective of what I do on my life's mission, is I help people change their habits. Because once you develop those habits and you implement new things in your life, those become automatic. And the company I work for, we have a parent company that's 160 years old. It's one of the oldest sales companies in America. And one of the biggest things we've learned in 160 years is the best tool for changing habits is this word that you can draw in your notes around the outside, which is accountability. And I invite you guys to look through that lens today of accountability. As we talk about certain principles, ask yourself, do I have an accountability around this? Is someone on my team? Do I have a leader? Do I have a peer? Do I have someone that can hold me accountable? Because we all have a love-hate relationship with accountability. I know for me, sometimes, I started working with a trainer in August, and between August and January, I lost about 20 pounds. And that felt awesome. But I remember the day I decided I was going to work with this trainer, put my head on the pillow at night and thinking, I can't eat what I want to anymore. That hurt. But when I've been at my best, whether it be my health or my success, I think you'd all agree that you probably had some accountability helping you get there. So I want to share 3 habits with you guys today, because a lot of this today I didn't come up with yesterday or last week or last year. I know a lot of coaches brag about themselves and their success. And I think a lot of these principles are things that we see over time. And the parent company I work for is the oldest direct sales company in the country. We started in 1855. To give you context, that was before the light bulb was invented. And for 160 years, we've had an internship for college students that's helped develop top salespeople. And then in the 80s, we got smart and we started building other sales companies. So we have about 15 different companies now, and I work with our coaching and training company. So our company's worked with, we need to update this slide, but we've had about 22,000 lives we've changed in one-on-one coaching. So it's a lot bigger than I could ever do on my own. There's about 150 of us coaches that live in about 15 different countries. So I have colleagues in Brazil and Europe and in Africa and Thailand, and we've worked in hundreds of different industries with different companies. Obviously, you'll see a lot of real estate and mortgage that we've worked with, also insurance, pretty much anything in sales, we've coached it. So a lot of what we've learned in our history as a coaching company is we've looked at who are the top producers and what sets them apart from the average. If you think about someone that would invest in themselves to hire a coach, they tend to be people that are doing well, or at least they do really well after they've hired their coach. So we've been able to study 22,000 top producers as to what separates them from the average. So I want to share 3 habits with you today. And my goal is each one of you can pick a habit that you resonate with that you can start working on today. So I'm going to share one habit that's related to your skills. one habit related to your mindset or your attitude, and one habit related to your systems. So the number one habit I want to share is top producers, we find they're students of the game. If you look at anyone across any industry or sport or career, they're always developing themselves. If I could see all you, I'd have you raise your hands. But think about if you played sports growing up. What sport did you play? Visualize what an average week in the life of an athlete was. You might not have played a sport yourself, but maybe you were friends with someone that played sports. A lot of times I played basketball and volleyball. Those were my sports in high school. And if you looked at how many days a week we had games, maybe once a week on average, but usually we were practicing every single day. Some days we had 2 practices. And a lot of people that played sports, especially those that went to state, if you ever became professional, if you added up the hours of practice, hundreds, if not thousands of hours of practice. I know those of you on this call that were athletes can probably resonate. If you went to your coach and you said, hey, coach, hey, I'm not going to show up to practice this week. Just put me in the game. Probably wouldn't get much playing time. And even if you did, you wouldn't do as well. But although it seems really logical and obvious with sports, the challenge when I speak to so many producers, whether it be in mortgage or real estate, is how many of us are doing that in our job? We're showing up and getting the same objection over and over again. When was the last time we actually took time to practice? We keep asking for referrals or handing out business cards and nothing ever comes our way. When did you actually practice or prepare to change the way you ask for referrals? What is it costing you that you're not practicing? You're not a student. Top producers, they're always listening to podcasts, reading books. They're attending classes. They're doing all they can to learn and develop themselves. Because regardless of where you're at, most of what it takes to reach those goals are just some new skills. A lot of people, they hire coaches. It's one of the most effective ways to accelerate your skill sets is you work with someone one-on-one that can see the way you do things and tailor it to you. I can't do that with each of you on this call. I don't have the interactivity today to customize something specific for your skill set, but we'll spend the next 5 minutes working on a skill. Because if there's one thing in the skill of mortgage or real estate that can impact your time more than anything else, it's getting people to take action. How many of us, whether we sat down with a real estate agent and we were wanting to start a referral partnership or we were dealing with a new home buyer, that we've heard any of these things? Hey, great job, Christopher, or thanks, Manuel, or thanks, Anna, but I need to think about it. Can you call me in 6 months? I need to talk to my, fill in the blank, boss, spouse, accountant, oh, it's too expensive. The rates are too high. It's just not a good market. How many of us have heard all of these things in one sitting? And what's frustrating about this is sometimes we're talking to someone, they're engaged, they're excited, they're showing us all their buying signs. The whole call or the whole interaction, we think this person's ready to go. And we're maybe even counting the commissions in our head. And all of a sudden out of nowhere, hey, Christopher, thanks so much, but you can just call me in 6 months. How that hurts, doesn't it? And the hard thing is oftentimes as real estate agents or as loan officers, we start believing some of these. They become self-limiting beliefs in our own mind where we think, you know what, I should just get a second job. The market's really low right now and nobody's buying homes. Maybe I should just, it's just too expensive. The rates are too high. Right? We've been there. We've had those thoughts in our head. But the challenging thing that I want to challenge you guys as salespeople, the reality is we just didn't create enough need. We didn't find a reason for someone to change their situation, to take action. So I'm going to share with you a quick series of questions that you can use, whether you're sitting down with a realtor for lunch and wanting to start a referral partnership. You can do this over the phone in 5 minutes, but just a simple formula to ask questions to create a sense of urgency so that people will actually take action instead of procrastinating. Because does it suck when people procrastinate on us, right? So let's help people take action. So simple thing, and I'll rocket fire through this. CLASP is a little acronym. So you can write this in your notes. CLASP. They each stand for a little word, and I'll kind of go through it one by one. The C is something we all know. It's currently. Where are we currently at? When we're asking our client, I'll just do the example. If you're meeting with a realtor over lunch and you want them to send you their next deal, right? Or at least a deal, or maybe more of their deals. Where are they currently at? How's their production? How are they doing? Where have they sent their loans in the past? This is something we're all asking already. We're understanding what's that current situation. Now, the thing that I find most loan officers skip is asking, what do they like? What have you liked about the other loan officers you worked with in the past? What have you liked about other partners that have helped you with your business? What do you like about your job right now? Now, it seems kind of counterintuitive why we would ask them what they like about working with other people when we want them to work with us. But there's two reasons that we'll do this. Number one is they tell us exactly what they need and what they want and why they would work with us, right? They'll tell you exactly why they would want to partner with you and send you their business. And number two is actually probably more important. If you talk about what other people do wrong, or you trash talk other companies or things that they do poorly, it feels salesy. And when you talk about what they like, people connect with that. It's a relational thing. It's a connection. And they'll naturally talk about what they want to alter. The A stands for alter. What would you want to change about the way you do business? Would you want someone that communicates better? Would you want different options? So a lot of times this is where people will naturally just share one of the things that they've been frustrated in. And we find inexperienced loan officers, as soon as they find a need, they start talking about their company and let me tell you about iCore and what I can do for you and all these things. But top producers, they sit in that and they let someone experience that pain and frustration so that they have a sense of urgency to move forward. That's the biggest thing, guys. If you could take anything away from helping people take action, whether it's helping others, your real estate referral partners, home buyers, or yourself, if you don't have enough pain in your current situation, you're not going to change. So you got to spend time on that. And the last two steps are really simple. Signer, hey, other than you, anyone involved in making this decision, some real estate agents, they have a broker that they've got to run it by. Certain home buyers, obviously they've got multiple people in that decision. And then you paint the picture back to them. This is how kind of CLASP comes together. You basically, as you're taking notes, let's say again, in that example, you're meeting with a new real estate agent that you'd love to partner with and do some of their loans. Hey, thanks so much. Let's take John, for example. Hey, sounds like currently this is how many deals you're doing each month. You've worked with these loan companies. You've really liked these options and the way that they've treated your clients. You really wish they could do this. Hey, if I could share with you how partnering with me and iCore Lending could help you have, fill in the blank with what they like, as well as what they want to alter. Is there any reason why you wouldn't want to send me your next piece of business? Or is there any reason why you wouldn't want to partner with me on one of your loans? You see how you've just clasped them? You've kind of had an informal agreement. Even before you've talked about the facts or the figures or the numbers, they've just agreed to say, yes, I want to work with you. And again, that's a simple condensed version that we did in 5 minutes. And if you're looking at that, you're like, oh, that's cool. I could use that today. Or I have a real estate agent that I've been bugging for months that hasn't sent me anything. I'll call them up and just go through CLASP. Imagine, hopefully you're thinking, oh, that's cool. I learned something that I can use that can help me have greater success. If you're feeling that, then why not be a student of the game? What is it costing you that you're not actually consistently doing things to learn? And obviously a lot of you just being on this call is a sign that you are a student because you're actively growing. So that's the skills habit. Number 2 is the motivation habit. If some of you guys woke up this morning on the wrong side of bed or you're frustrated or discouraged, this might be for you. We find top producers, they guard their self-talk. We all know what self-talk is, right? That internal conversation. Some of you guys driving to work this morning, you may be talking out loud in the car, right? But a lot of times we'll say things about our world or why we're not where we want to be. For those of you who texted me a goal earlier, maybe you had a piece of self-talk as to why you haven't hit that yet. A lot of times we call these self-talk things rationalizations. See the emphasis on the rise. They're rational, but they tend to be lies. They're excuses. They're justifications as to why we can't be successful. So again, in the last few years in the real estate industry at large, as I've talked to clients, there's been a lot of these. Oh, the market this, the economy that, the rates this, people, home buyers, and they blame it on other people. And that makes sense. It makes me feel better if I can find a reason why I'm not being successful. But the problem here is you're turning these things that aren't actually real into self-limiting beliefs. So to give you an example, a simple one, let's take a father of 3 kids and his health is his goal. He wants to lose some weight, become more healthy. He might say, you know what, I just can't be healthy, Peter, because I don't have enough time. I've got 3 kids at home. I'm trying to provide, and there's no way I could really make it to the gym. See how he's used his kids as a rationalization why he can't reach his goal in his health. Now, you might take the same type of individual, another father of 3 kids, and he might be extremely healthy. And you ask him, why are you so healthy? And he says, you know what? I've got 3 kids at home. I want to be around for my grandkids. For me, my health is non-negotiable because it's important to me that I'm around for them as they get older. You see how in that example, the top producer, he shifted his perspective. Instead of that excuse, that rationalization being the obstacle as to why he can't reach his goal, that's actually the very motivation why he took his health so seriously. So for you, think about what you've told yourself in the last week or month. Just notice the self-talk of why you aren't where you want to be or why you haven't been successful. Maybe it's, I just don't have enough time, or I'm too busy, or I have these other responsibilities, or other people can't make up their mind. Is that true? Or is that just a rationalization that makes you feel better why you aren't where you want to be? What if we could shift our perspective and actually look at what we can control? Obviously, this self-talk game is tough, and a lot of us have been saying negative things to ourselves for our whole careers. I couldn't on a group call dig into that. Hiring a one-on-one coach is one of the best ways you can have someone actually listen to the mindset that you're saying to yourself, the negativity in your brain. But the only thing I can encourage you with you today is, hey, just notice. Notice after we get off this call, notice this afternoon when you're trying to pick up your phone and make your calls or prospect new real estate agents. What is that thing in your head, that conversation? And is that true? Or could we shift our perspective? And the last habit I want to share with you is to take action. This is our systems habit. So if you remember, student of the game is our skills, guard your self-talk is your mindset. And again, we've got a lot of negative self-talk around our time. It's probably the biggest area that people say all sorts of excuses as to why they can't be successful. But take action now. This is a simple systems habit. So I want you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 and just text me a number. Just be honest with yourself. I'm not going to share it with the group, but I want you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Now, this is a reactivity scale. So a 10 is someone who's really proactive. Before Monday starts, they have a plan for their week. They know when they're calling their realtors. They know when they're going on lunches. They know when they're going on closings. They even plan for the unexpected because as a loan officer, there's emergencies, aren't there? There's last minute closings that fall apart and we've got to help other people and shift things around. So they have plans for that. Now, a one isn't someone that works any less hard. They have a to-do list in their head. They know what it takes to be successful. But when Monday comes around, they're just listening to whatever's barking the loudest. They're checking their email and thinking, okay, what do I have to do today? Someone calls, all of a sudden they've derailed their plan and they're answering their phone and doing this other thing. Again, it's not that they're working any less hard. It's not that they're lazy. They're just reactive to what other people are asking of them versus creating a plan for themselves as to how they're going to work their day. So just text me a number. There's my number right there on the screen. You might be a 2 or a 3. Maybe you're a 5 or 6. Maybe you're a 7 or 8. Thanks for texting in. A 6. Yeah. Maybe we're I'm concerned sometimes about the 7s. That's probably the most common number I get because you're just good enough that maybe you don't want to change. For those of us that are 2s or 3s, we know we have a problem with our time. and we're going to do something about it. And again, guys, this isn't about creating more time in the day. We all have the same amount of time. What it is about being more efficient. Because if you look at that number that you wrote on your notes or whatever you texted in, maybe you're a 5 or 6 or a 7, maybe you're a 2 or a 3. But if you're not a 10 most days, none of us are a 10 all the time, but if we're not a 10 most days, think about what is that costing you? Maybe it's a ton of money. You know, being in this industry, it's incredible what you can do. Tens of thousands of dollars potentially, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. For others of us, it's costing us our goal, our health, our family relationships, our peace of mind. Some of you are stressed out, and that's because you're just reactive to what everyone else is asking you to do, and you don't create a plan ever. You have the self-talk that says, I can't do that. That's impossible. Others of us, we could probably all relate with this feeling of guilt. Even when I talk to the top producers in any company, there's this feeling when they're not at a 10 most days where they finish the day and they go home and they feel, I didn't really give it my best. I could have done more. I think we can all resonate with that feeling. So if we want to grow, how do top producers overcome it? Because really, here's a question for you. What do you think is your number one killer of success in a world today? One of the biggest things that hold people back, and I think this is huge in the real estate world, is loan officers. This is a big one. The answer rhymes with procrastination. Right? Procrastination. We all know this, but it's actually more dangerous. It's not that you guys are supposed to be doing loans and you're sitting there on Netflix, but it's creative avoidance. It's doing things that seem to be productive, but aren't your most important things. So what do you think top producers do to overcome their procrastination tendencies? What we've found studying a lot of top producers is they focus on their income producing activities, or IPAs, not beers, but income producing activities, right? So what are the things that actually make you money? As a loan officer, probably the primary thing is connecting with real estate agents, building relationships, adding value. But whenever I coach a loan officer, they tend to be spending all of their time on busy work, things that they technically should be delegating to a processor or some kind of assistant, and they're spending their whole day wrapped up in these deals where they need to be empowering others to do that and spending their time building relationships. But the battle here, and why so many people struggle with this, is they're fighting this law of diminishing intent. We call it Lodi. Basically, over time, your willpower or your intention to do whatever task you've set out to do for the day, it drops. We've all seen this. Your alarm goes off in the morning. If you just jumped out of bed, that'd be easy. But if you click snooze, it gets harder and harder to get up. Some of us know, I want to make that call. I'm going to call that real estate agent. Maybe something on this call today inspired you. You're like, I have this guy I've got to follow up with. I need to invite him out to lunch or take him to coffee, and I need to call him. And then you're going to get off this call and you're going to wait. And the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be to pick up the phone and make the call. And the reality is we are emotional creatures and we make our decisions based on how we feel. So if you're just waiting around in your day with no plan, and you're just reacting to what other people are doing in your life, that's why you're feeling so ragged. Because you've just let other people's priorities define your day, and you're just exhausted. So what do top producers do? They make a plan. Here's a sample ideal schedule. It's not a perfect plan for everybody, but just a concept, right? Where you can plan your family time. You can plan your date night. You can plan your workouts. You can plan when you're helping your branch, when you've got lunch meetings, when you're doing client calls, right? You can fit that in, and then you treat it like a bell schedule. And like when you're in high school, when you go to English class, you switch. Now, the biggest pieces of self-talk I hear when people see something like that, they'll say, Peter, I tried that, didn't work. You know, I got a call in the middle of my Tuesday. I couldn't follow it. I've been doing these for like 5-6 years now, and every time I never get a perfect week. But I'll tell you one thing. You'll never even come close to your perfect week if you don't even know what it looks like. So if you don't make a plan and you don't create a schedule, you're not even going to get close to ever following that plan. And number two, if you just have white space in your day, I don't know what you're using for your schedule, whether it's Outlook, Google Calendar, whether you actually make a plan, but think about your schedule today. If you have an afternoon full of white space, I know you have these training calls probably on your schedule, but if your afternoon is just a bunch of white space with no plan, you're like, oh, I'll just do whatever is important. What you're saying is circumstances, universe, plan my day for me, right? Because other people need your time. And until you decide what's most important for you and you prioritize that, you're going to live a life running around doing things for other people, always chasing your success and feeling like you're spinning your wheels and never coming close. So again, in a brief group training over Zoom, there's not much detail I can dig into, but I wanted to cover these big pieces. Again, there's that theme of time management that we struggle with. But for some of us, we need to be a student of the game. We need to actually study and practice and work on our skills. Others, it's the self-talk piece. It's our mindset around our time. It's the rationalizations we make as to why we can't do it. Oh, Peter, I'm a branch manager. I couldn't do that. I have people relying on me and loan officers calling me. Or, oh, Peter, I have a second job, or I've got a family. For some of us, it's that self-talk piece. Others, we just need to take action. The most common thing I hear is people say, I know what I need to do. I'm just not doing it. And that's when that law of diminishing intent sets in. The longer you wait to do that thing, forget it. You're never going to do it. So text me a habit that you want to focus on. Maybe you want to be a student. Maybe you want to work on your self-talk. Maybe you want to take action. But pick something for yourself in your notes that you want to focus on for the next week. And as we wrap, I want to do one last activity with you. We call it the power of perspective. Hopefully I shifted your perspective on your time today, shifted your perspective on your job and what are your priorities, or how to have an effective conversation with a realtor to get them to take action. But I'm going to pop up a sentence on the screen. I'm going to read it. It's only going to take us 5 seconds. I want you to count the letter F's. F as in Frank. And then I'm going to take it off the screen, and you can text me a number based on how many F's you count. So here we are. Finished files are the result of years of scientific study combined with the experience of many years. How many letter F's? Text in a number. I see a 3. We've got a 4. Someone counted a 5. It's crazy how we're all looking at the same sentence and we have different numbers. A 3. Thanks, Rick. It's wild. And that's how it is oftentimes in our business. Different people look at their business, and sometimes we have blind spots. We can't see something that's right in front of us. The truth of this activity is there's actually 6 F's. And the reality is we see phonetically, and ofs don't sound like F. They sound like the letter V. So these 3 ofs tend to be invisible. So a lot of us, we're the same in our business. We can't see the forest through the trees, and we have things glaring us in the face that are sucking our time, keeping us from our success. And if we had someone outside of us helping shift that perspective, we might be able to see some things that we could do right now to change. So to give you guys some added support, I know I'm just on here for a few minutes today, and there's a limit to what I can cover in a group like this. But if you guys want to text me a number, a 1, 2, or 3, I find when I do these trainings and these workshops, people are in 1 of 3 categories. Some people are like, Peter, that's cool. I've heard about coaching. I've never even looked at it for myself. I'd like to explore that with someone. You can text a number 1 or text coaching if you'd like to connect with me one-on-one and hear more about coaching. If you want to do a complimentary workshop, if you're a branch manager, team leader, you have a team, we can customize something similar to what I did today, and do something free for your team. If you meet in person, I'm local to Southern California. I can go there. So if you're interested in learning about that, text me a 2. I'll be happy to plan something with you and look at how we can serve your team for free. And text me a 2 or text workshop if you want to learn about that. And for a lot of us, we want more referrals. and we want to get more out of our time. We want to meet new real estate agents. We want to get more referrals from real estate agents. And if you want to do a LinkedIn referral training, I do a lot of these where we'll Zoom and share screens, and I'll teach you how to leverage LinkedIn and just how to ask for referrals more effectively. If you want to learn that, you can text me a 3 or text me referral if you want to do that. But want to be accessible for you guys. Again, if you take a quick minute, text me a 1, a 2, or a 3. If you want to learn about coaching, you want to put together a workshop for your team, or learn about referrals, happy to be of service. I appreciate Sonia for inviting me out here and doing a training on her birthday. Hopefully, at the very least, you can look at a habit in your life.
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you, Peter. Do they have any questions? Please.
Yeah. That's
do
my.
You have any questions that they want to talk, share with everyone in this group?
Sure. Yeah. If anyone wants to ask a question to the group, I'm happy to answer one while I'm here, as I've done throughout the training. That's my personal cell. Really easy to connect with me if you want to get more information about anything around coaching or your habits or your goals and want to develop. Feel free to text and feel free to connect. This is my contact card. If you have your computer in front of you, you can scan this QR code, and that'll save my number and all my little socials. I post different videos online and things like that. Oh, we've got something in the chat. Oh, a thank you. I was seeing if we had a question. But
so
yes,
you have your Instagram? Do you have your Instagram?
Yes, right here, Peter Varberg Coach.
Okay, perfect.
And if you scan the QR code, it has a link to my Instagram and my LinkedIn and those types of things. So as I said, feel free to text me a 1, 2, or 3 if you want to learn more information about coaching and talk to me one-on-one. I'm happy to at least educate you for 5-10 minutes if you want to talk further. Otherwise, again, as I said in the beginning, I feel like it's part of my mission to help impact others and provide value. And I've been blessed to learn a lot in my short life about growth and habits. So I'm honored to have a chance to speak with y'all. And I've heard such great things from Sonia. So I appreciate the opportunity to come and share today.
Thank you so much, Peter. And thank you so much, everyone, to be in this call, in this Zoom. And looking forward to see you in the next class at 10 o'clock with Tristan Ahumada. It's going to be very interesting too. And he's going also to talk about the state of the market, the commissions, and the social media. So it's going to be a very good class. So thank you so much, Peter. And I think we're going to talk to you to see if we can have another classes for ICOR lending. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sonia. Have a blessed day, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.